everyone, Miss Carrie here from Miss Carrie's Creations. Today's project is an amazing red, white, and blue page that you can make using one of the Not Just for Boys Kit Club kits. Today I'm going to guide you through the process of creating this background design and show you some fun ways to use acrylic shapes. I'm working with the Journey Limitless kit from Not Just for Boys Kit Club. This is an amazing collection filled with outdoor and rustic patterns and prints. In this kit, you'll also receive a cardstock cut that says flannels and bonfires, a wood slice stencil, a package of ephemera, and some phrase stickers. Before I share what I plan to use, let me show you a few of these patterns and prints. The first one is a mountain scene, and on the back we have a dark coal topographic map. The next one is a paint swish pattern in some masculine colors, and on the back we have a great green print. The softer blue pattern has dots on the front and stripes on the back. The next sheet is a cut apart page with a softer gray fern leaf pattern on the back. And then we have this dual-sided wood grain, another mountain scene with a rustic orange design, and some constellations with another topographical map. The next piece is a cut-apart page with phrases and another deep orange pattern on the back. And then we have this green solid with a grid design and a world map with stripes on the back. Now let me show you what I'm going to be using today. The challenge for July is a rainbow or rain theme, and I have to admit I was a bit stumped on how I could use these outdoor themed items on a rainbow page. In the Not Just for Boys shop, there are some adorable little acrylic rainbows, which are perfect for summer, and these confetti pieces. And both of these are going to pair well with this pattern that I picked. For my background, I have created a rainbow design. Now, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but it is a debossed image that I created with my Cricut machine. I found a rainbow SVG, added it to my canvas, then used the debossed tool in my maker to impress this design onto the cardstock. If this is something you want to learn how to do, let me know and I'll put together a quick tutorial for you. My plan is to turn this into a stitched design. So I've gone ahead and placed some foam under the cardstock, and I'm using a dye removal tool to create some little piercing marks on those debossed lines. Now, if I were talented enough, I would have created my own stitching SVG, but that's something I'm still learning how to do, so debossing is going to have to work for now. If you don't own a maker machine or the debossing tool, you could insert a light colored marker into your Cricut machine or draw the image freehand with a pencil. The piercing part of the project was really easy to do and it didn't take much time at all. I'm going to grab some embroidery thread and start adding my stitching to this design. So I went ahead and added most of the stitching to the page. I do want to show you the stitch that I used for the rainbow. This is called a chain stitch because it gives a chain-like appearance or almost like flower petals lined up one after another. To create the stitch, you're going to bring the thread up, then place the needle back down into the spot where you came through. You're not going to pull the thread all the way through. Instead, you're going to create a little loop. Now we're going to bring the needle up through the next stitching hole. The needle needs to come up through the center of the loop. You're going to carefully pull that thread tight, and this creates your chain stitch. I'm going to make a few more stitches here so that you can see that again. For my rainbow, I chose 3 red hues and 3 blue. Here in a moment, you'll see the photo I selected. It is mostly red and blue, as are those acrylic shapes, so these colors seem to be a better fit. All right, we're coming up to the end of the rainbow here. When you get to that last stitch, go ahead and bring it back up through the center of the loop, pull it tight, and then bring that needle back down on the other side of the loop to secure the stitch. The stitch for the clouds is a basic back stitch. On the rainbow, I used 3 strands of thread, but I want these to be a little more fluffy, so I'm going to use 6. All right, so now my rainbow's complete. I'm going to add some blue pattern paper to the base of my page. I have already cut this at 9 inches by 12 inches, and I'm going to make a mark on this right side at the 2.5 inch mark. My angled cut will go from the top corner to that 2.5 inch mark. I'm using a ruler and a craft knife because I cannot place 12-inch paper in my cutter at an angle. If you have that capability, feel free to cut this paper on your trimmer. This is going to sit at the base of the page against that rainbow design. To avoid having some bulky stitching under the paper, I didn't finish up the clouds. It does look like I missed a few stitches, so I'll go ahead and finish those up real quick before I show you how to put the page together. Here is the photo that I'm using of these 2 girls on a day trip. You can now see why I stuck with that red, white, and blue color palette. Because this was a little vacation, I've decided to bring in this cardstock cut that says "Where to next?" And I've gathered a few other items that I want to add to the page. Let me show you how I'm going to fill in the pieces for the sign. I'm going to use phrases from this cut apart. Many of these fit the vacation or adventure theme that I have for my page. I'm using a pencil to trace the area of the cardstock cut that I need to cut out, and then I'll glue each piece in place. You might have noticed that a few of these little cut aparts are already missing from the sheet. With the Journey kit, I created another layout that has more of an outdoor mountain feel. I'll be sharing that one later this month. If you are a subscriber and have hit the notification bell, you will be notified when I add that video to my channel. I did consider sharing a sneak peek today, but I think I'm going to make you wait. So I have gone ahead and cut everything out and added it to the back of the cardstock cut. For the other spaces, I'm going to use some of these packing inserts. Not Just for Boys designs their packaging to be reused on your pages, and I just love that so much. I'm going to go ahead and trace one of the shapes from the grid pattern, and then I'll cut it out and glue it in place. So this cardstock cut is an item that is available in the Not Just for Boys shop. Recently, our teammate Shannon of She's Crafty 20 used it on an engagement photo layout, and it was such an adorable page. For the post part of the sign, I'm using that wood grain pattern. I like to use a craft knife to trim the pieces, but a sharp pair of scissors will also work. All right, now that the sign is finished, I can adhere it right next to the photo. I really like how this looks. Now in the photo, I have some red, blue, and green, so I'm going to try to add those colors to my page. From the cut apart sheet, I'm using this little tree, and I'm going to tuck it right under the corner of the title. Next to that, I'm adding a small little camera. Both of these items are helping to finish off that sign and ground that element a little bit. Up near the photo, I have added a white circle as an anchor piece. Onto that, I'm going to add a few little clouds. These are left over from the Travelog kit, so if you happen to have a few lying around, they're going to be perfect for the rainbow or rain challenge. I'm also going to add a few little clouds near the top of the page. These are going to act almost like a grounding strip or an anchor piece for my third embellishment cluster. In the shop, there is a set of large acrylic rainbows in red, white, and blue. The inside pieces of these pop out so that you can swap them around. This is such a fun little feature. I'm going to build the first rainbow with the large white piece and add both the red and blue inserts. I'm going to tuck this right over here on the clouds, and then I'll bring in one of the small blue ones. Over the top of the clouds, I'm going to add the phrase "Pure Happiness" from the ephemera pack. And then I'll finish off the space with a fabric heart. This heart was another item left over from a recent kit. If you don't have the clouds or the hearts, you can always replicate them with some felt, foam, or paper. In the upper corner, I'm going to add another one of those large rainbows. I'm also going to add another phrase and a fabric heart to the space. This phrase is from the sticker sheet, and it says, "A day to remember." To finish off the page, I'm going to add some of the sequins. The Independence Day sequin mix has some red, white, and blue sequins, clay stars, little gems, and dots. I'm going to go ahead and finish adhering all of these in place, and then I'll share the completed layout with you. Here is my design for the Not Just for Boys July Challenge. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I wasn't quite sure how I was going to use outdoor elements to create a rainbow page, but with a little help from some 4th of July items and leftover kit pieces, it came together beautifully. I'm going to share a few close-ups of this layout so that you can see all the wonderful details. The Journey Limitless kit from Not Just for Boys is a versatile collection that seamlessly blends outdoor rustic elements with a masculine touch. However, I want you to remember that these are not just for outdoor boy pages. I was able to create a bright and playful page using several elements from the kit, and I love how this layout turned out. I hope this project inspired you to join this month's challenge and try something new. If you are one who enjoys pinning photos to inspiration boards, I have added still shots of this layout on the Not Just for Boys Kit Club blog and on my website for you to use. If you would like more ideas for using this kit, you can join the Not Just for Boys Kit Club community on Facebook to see even more designs. I want to thank you for joining me for another scrapbook project. If you have any questions about this design or the supplies listed below, feel free to post that in the comments. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I can't wait to see what you create.